We had been married for 6 years, and I thought everything was going fine. My wife Anna and I had our ups and downs like any couple, but we always managed to work through them. She was my best friend, and the person I trusted more than anyone. So, when we were invited to a close friend's wedding, I didn't think twice about going together and celebrating as a couple. I had no idea that the night would change everything. The wedding was beautiful, and the venue was filled with familiar faces. As we entered the reception hall, Anna suddenly stiffened and grabbed my arm. I asked if everything was okay, and she smiled nervously, saying she was just surprised to see someone she hadn't seen in years. I didn't press it. We mingled, had some drinks, and danced a little, but I noticed Anna seemed distracted. Her eyes kept darting around the room. Later that evening, I saw her talking to a man I didn't recognize. He was tall, well-dressed, and clearly very familiar with her. The way she smiled at him, touched his arm, and leaned in close gave me a weird feeling. Something in my gut told me this wasn't just a casual conversation. I excused myself from. My group had moved a little closer to observe them without being noticed. That's when I heard his voice say something like, "You haven't changed at all," followed by her laughing and saying, "Neither have you. It's crazy seeing you here like this." There was an intimacy in their tone that didn't sit right with me. I watched. As they left the main hall together and walked out toward the garden area, my heart dropped. I followed at a distance, keeping to the shadows. They didn't see me, but I saw everything. They stood close under the fairy lights, and he brushed a strand of hair from her face. She didn't stop him. In fact, she leaned into him, and then without hesitation, they kissed. I froze. It felt like time stopped, and my stomach turned, and my chest tightened. I never expected something like this from Anna. I stood there hidden, watching my wife kiss her ex like I never existed. I didn't confront her. I turned around and walked away quietly. I didn't want a scene. I didn't want tears or lies. I just wanted to get out. I went back into the reception, said goodbye to a few people, made up a story about feeling sick, and left. I took a cab home, packed a small bag with essentials, and went to stay at a hotel. I didn't call her. I didn't text. I went completely silent. Over the next few days, I didn't respond to her calls or messages. She came home to find me gone. First, she thought it was a misunderstanding. Then, she started panicking. She blew up my phone, begging me to talk, but I stayed cold and quiet. I contacted a lawyer the very next day and got the paperwork started. I also gathered all the evidence I needed from her social media or shared cloud photos, and even reached out to a friend who had seen her with the guy at the wedding. When I finally agreed to meet her, I did it at a public place. She looked like a mess. Red eyes, trembling hands. She tried to explain it away, calling it a moment of weakness and just a kiss. She swore it meant nothing. I slid a printed photo of them kissing across the table and calmly told her I had already filed for divorce. She broke down right there in the cafe. She begged for another chance, saying it was a mistake and that she loved me. But I had already made up my mind. Trust once broken is nearly impossible to repair. I told her that I deserved better than being betrayed and lied to. I left her crying, surrounded by people staring, while I walked away with my dignity intact. The divorce was swift. I didn't want alimony or revenge. I just wanted freedom. I changed my number, moved to a new apartment, and started rebuilding my life. I threw myself into work, travel, and personal growth. I didn't look back. Meanwhile, mutual friends told me she spiraled for a while. I'll try that,